Hello dear students, today we are going to start with our next topic, that is the email writing. Now this is our next topic to this in the continuation of notice writing as well as message writing. Today we have to understand that what do we mean by email writing. Now students, as we have already learned that what do we mean by a notice or what do we mean by a message. Now when such things need to be sent online, that will compose your email. Mail means something you are sending a message to somebody, but email means the electronic mail. That definitely means that you are sending a particular mail electronically. That is your email. Now there are some parts of email which you need to understand by a heart. Now what do we mean by the parts of email? This definitely means that while writing an email, there are certain things which you should know, and which are the basic things. The first is the recipient's address. Now, what do you mean by recipient's address? The person to whom you are writing the email, suppose it is XYZ person, so you will write it the email like this, to xyz at the rate suppose gmail.com. So this is the address of recipient. This is the first part to whom you are sending the email. The second is the carbon copy and the blind carbon copy. Now suppose you are sending this email to XYZ and you want the same email to be sent to other person. Now if you want to send it suppose to ABC and DEF, and when you send these copies to ABC and DEF and they come to know that to whom all other people have you sent the same copy, then it is called the carbon copy. Means if you are sending this carbon copy to ABC, he will come to know that in his letter the same copy has been forwarded to DEF as well as XYZ. But in the blind carbon copy only the message is given, but not the DEF and XYZ. The third part which comes is the subject line. Now what do you mean by subject line? So basically the subject line is the first part of your email that the recipient will see. Just like in the letter we write the subject, in email we have to write the subject line. When entering the subject line, we have to write what the email is about. The fourth part is your salutation. That is in the one form or the other you are greeting somebody in a way, so you will be presenting your salutation like sir, madam or whatever. Then comes your body of the email. Now this body can be of 4 to 5 lines, and this will be talking about what your email is all about. This will be the core part which talks about the basic things your email is having. It can contain your introduction, it can contain your main part, and then it can contain the conclusion. Always remember, this body should not be more than 50 words. The next part we will see is the attachments. Now basically what do we mean by attachments? When in an email you have to add any PDF, any file, or we say any photo, which we also say JPEG, or any link. So these things are or can be also attached to the email, and these are referred to as the attachments. The last one is the closing. Closing is that part where you will be ending your email. So this you can write it by giving any type of respect or something like thank you. This will be your closing part. Now let us move to the format of email, that how can we actually write an email. So one should always know that while writing the format of email, you have to again write the email in a box. Now this is the thing which is optional to you. You may even include the box or you may not. The first thing which comes is to. Now to, you will write the email address of the recipient. Suppose your recipient uses the Google account, so he or she will have this. Then comes your CC and BCC. Suppose you have to send the same to other people, you will be adding it here. Then you'll write subject. Now there is one thing very magical and special about email writing. Since all of this has been in electronic mode, we do not follow any particular format of leaving a line, but we should at least know the orders in which we are writing the same. So to, CC, BCC, subject and all things should be learnt. Subject should be a phrase, and please remember the phrase should not exceed uh, 2 to 7 words. This is the deadline, after which it would not no more be a phrase. Then you give a salutation. You can write dear if you write it in an informal way, or you can write respected or just a normal sir or madam if it is a formal email. Then you will write your body. Now this body can vary. We should always write this body of about 50 words limit, not more than that, but some people also exceed it to 120 200 words depending upon the content which they want to present to the recipient. Suppose the problem is really serious, the matter is really serious to be discussed, that time you have to write the subject, the body, in more than 200 words also. Then comes your thank you, and then finally it will end with your name. So this is how we write an email. So basically you could be given anything, any type of question, and then you would be asked that how can you prepare the email on the same part. Now let us come to our fourth topic for means the next topic for today, that is paragraph writing. Now as the name suggests, what do you mean by paragraph writing? Paragraph writing is basically a short composition of something in brief way. So it is actually a short composition. Now if I talk about that, what should be the length? Not more than 200 words. Because it is a paragraph writing, always on a page there should be one paragraph which has to be written. What do some people do? They write multiple paragraphs, and that doesn't make the sense of paragraph writing. Because you are writing one para, you are seeing the topic, it is paragraph writing, so one paragraph is sufficient, not more than that. There are some features of writing a paragraph that one should always follow. The first feature is unity, that is everything to be concised in one para, not more than that, no points, nothing. The second is coherency or coherence, means whenever you're writing a paragraph, everything should be maintained in a flow, that the readers must be clearly having this idea, okay, the writer is writing this first line, the second line is in continuation with this first line or in coherency with the first line. The last feature is the emphasis. Suppose, and these paragraph, the questions are asked on very general topics. Suppose if I say my herbarium, so in herbarium you need to lay the emphasis on this herbarium only. You have to not deviate from the topic much, because then it would not make the essence of what you are writing. We are writing the paragraph, why? Because to let people know about what do we actually mean by that particular topic. We are explaining it in that paragraph. Now if I talk about the parts, that were the features. Because there is no specific format to be followed, so the part means the first few sentences must give a clear-cut introduction of what you are writing all about. It should summarize the things that you are going to start. Then main comes your body, means if I say first 20 to 30 words must be your introduction, then 100 words to 150 words should be your body, and then afterwards conclusion should not be more than 50 words. So then the last comes is conclusion. If possible, kindly include all the three things. If you are given such a topic that you can prepare introduction also, body also, as well as conclusion also, then you must definitely go for this approach. Otherwise it would be also sufficient if the topic is very general, just a body with few introducing lines and few concluding lines would also suffice. Now there are points to be remembered for both paragraph as well as email writing. The language should be easy to understand. There should be no grammatical errors. Grammar should be very proper. The third thing is that you have to always remember the word limit which has to be followed. If we exceed the word limit, then the essence of that thing will diminish forever. And afterward you should also read it again, so that if you think any coherency is not maintained, that you have to maintain. The fifth thing for paragraph is this coherency term only. Flow should be maintained, otherwise your paragraph would not look like a paragraph.